Hi everyone, Namaste. Today we are in for a very different session on Empower Hour. It is going to be a pleasant surprise for you all because we have none other than our most loved, beloved and treasured Pradnya Pandit. She's an outstanding lady who has honored her inner truth and light. And that is the reason we all get drawn towards her. She has evolved remarkably over the years, and so many of us look up to her. Most of you are aware, if not all, that Pradnya's counterpart transitioned to higher realms last year. When we lose someone who is very dear to us, it's not easy to process the loss. But Pradnya has handled all with a lot of grace and aplomb. Pradnya tried to emerge stronger and more powerful out of her experience. It's not that she didn't feel the pain of loss. The loss is heartbreaking and gut-wrenching. It's not easy to bear. And to go through the process of mourning, sadness, and to come to a level of acceptance is not easy. But when we look at her, she has largely done it. Although her counterpart has transitioned to another realm and physically is not here, he's still around, guiding her, holding her hand, taking her along. He's helping not only her, but the collective as well. We, being human, face expected, unexpected losses in our life. It comes easier for some of us to accept the existence of spirit and soul, but not everyone is there. Some people do not believe the existence of afterlife and that we are eternal beings. So maybe this session is going to affirm some of you, if not all, that all is never lost. We are always connected to our loved ones, and our loved ones are around us only. So this session may give hope. Commend you for the remarkable work you have been doing for the twin flame community and the spiritual community in general. And I'm sure you will continue to guide us and lead us with your light.
Thank you so much. And on this note, I also would like to say that as I started interacting with you on Quora, the kind of bond we share and the kind of sisterhood or whatever, I don't know what label to give it, but it has been so warm and it's always very, very nice and very great feeling to talk with you and the kind of subjects we talk on and the things we share as sisters. It's really, really valuable for me and I can't thank you enough for that.
Thank you. Thank you for being there.
Yeah. And I would equally want to say that, of course, if this community was not there with me, I don't know what I would do. So the way you are saying that I am providing strength to others, the others are also equally providing the strength to me. So it's from both the sides.
First of all, Pradnya, I see a very beautiful picture behind of Prasad. And when I look at the two of you together, you make a lovely pair. Can you share more with us about that one revered name that connects both of you in oneness, Prasadanya?
Well, it is just like his name, Prasad, and if you just put the 3 letters of my name ahead, it kind of includes both the letters of both our names together. This combination of our name only clicked me after he was gone. I mean, for all the years before when we were on the journey, it never clicked me that, we could actually match our names like that. But it only happened after that. That's like a very strange thing. But I use that name now because I truly feel that he is around me, and I feel his presence, and whatever I'm doing, his essence is truly there, and I think that name truly represents that whole essence of what we are doing together. So yeah, that's what it is.
It's a beautiful name combined together.
Thank you so much. One thing I wanted to mention, that as today he's completing 1 year of his passing, yes. I have also made a tribute page on my website where I have tried to put, I mean, not all the messages, but whatever messages I could put, because like me, he also has received a lot of love from a lot of people, even though he was not actively interacting directly with anybody. I think everybody who knows me and my story knows him. So many people have sent a lot of messages for him, and I have put all those messages on that page. So
yeah,
have a look at
Prasad is alive. He's alive in everybody's hearts. He's alive in you, in the work you are doing, and the collective as well. There are so many who will love to contribute to that page and express their joy that the two of you did come together to do something greater and bigger. I remember, like, last year I had touched base with you after Prasad had transitioned to another realm, and you had shared about your conversations in Feb 2021, if I recall correctly.
Yeah.
So will you like to share with us about that?
February 2021 was a very clear milestone for both of us. That time we were very much connected, very, very much in harmony with each other. Prasad pinged me one fine evening and he said that I need to speak to you for next 2-3 days if you are free. We had like a very long strings of conversations in the following 2-3 days, and there was a lot discussed when it comes to spirituality, spiritual connections, and also the earthly drama, that what is happening in your life, and that was also there. I feel it was a great milestone for him as well as for me, because we talked about afterlife, we talked about one soul in two bodies, all these concepts were like absolutely discussed. And I know that why he wanted to connect me at that time, because he already knew that he has a heart condition and anything can happen to him, but somehow he was not really able to convey that to me directly, because obviously he must be feeling that I might get really panic or feel sad or whatever it is. Somehow he was not feeling like telling that very, very directly to me. So through his different dialogues and statements, he was trying to indicate, like, for example, he said that you will live more than 20-25 years than me. I would be there to receive you in the heaven, all these statements. And I am like, okay, why he's putting all these statements forward? And it's very easy to be confused, because when you are sharing a spiritual journey, You are always talking about life and death anyways, like, that discussion of life and death is a part of your spiritual connection. So whenever he used to share these things, that I will die before you, you will live more 20-25 years more than me, I used to feel that what sort of a statement is that? Are you pulling my leg, or like, are you just blabbering things away? It never ever occurred to my mind that he's actually trying to indicate something to me. And then even in one of our small time argument, I said, you are never on track. You always go off track and you just lose what is going on in our connection. When are you going to come on track? What is happening? So he said, not in this life at least. That was his statement. That I'm not going to come on the track on physically, not in this life. So I was very annoyed with that statement, because I feel that it was a very pessimistic statement, very runner sort of a statement. That now, as he passed away, I started connecting the dots back again and started realizing that, okay, when he said that not in this life, at least he literally meant that. He was not running, or he was not denying anything. He was literally telling me the fact that whatever you are expecting is not going to happen in this life. So if I look at all those things, I feel that it was a very, very important sort of a milestone. When I got this news that he's no more, and I took a lot of time to process it, somewhere I felt that all that conversation, whatever happened in February 2021, was so important. And he himself, obviously, even if he had this idea that he has very less time remaining, he had no clue that it is going to happen in just 2 months. Definitely he was not aware of that, but maybe somehow his higher self guided him, or whatever it is. But thankfully that conversation actually happened 2 months before. And I really feel that it was kind of a savior for me, because if that conversation had not happened, I don't know how I could have dealt with this whole unfolding which happened afterwards. And there was this one dialogue which is kind of a saving grace for me. After all that conversation of 2-3 days, he sent me a message that I am happy because you are happy, and whether I'm alive or I'm gone, I'm always with you and your family. That was the sentence he wrote on WhatsApp, and I smiled, because I thought, okay, yeah, it's like, one of the expressions he's making. But after he passed, and when I looked at that particular message, I was like, oh my God. Because as human beings, we are always doubting. At least now I don't doubt anymore. I clearly know that he's here. But when I was in that phase of having this validation again and again, that, oh, is he here or is he not here? That one sentence he sent me when he was in the physical has been my savior. That, oh, he himself has said, when he was fully aware in the physical body, that whether he's alive or gone, he's always going to be with me, and I think he will not break his promise.
No, somewhere like he was consciously or unconsciously preparing you for his leaving the physical body.
Absolutely.
He had an awareness, and he wanted to give you a sort of maybe farewell, earthly farewell. Although he was spiritually still connected, will always be. And he was giving you signs to read. But since we do not go into the nuances of what our counterpart says, because we say, no, everything we brush aside. And he was somewhere aware of his impending transition.
Yes.
So, and that one sentence gave you the belief and conviction that yes, he is still there.
Yes, absolutely. Another thing he mentioned was, we were discussing that when we are going to meet next, because that COVID time was there and it was a lockdown, and we were really entering in a very strongest wave of COVID that time. So he said, yeah, whenever we will meet, we will meet. And if not here, this was another dialogue of his, which I found very weird at that time, why he's stating something like this. He said, we will definitely meet either here or spiritually. If you believe in the non-physical, anything can happen anywhere. That is what he said. So as we are on this spiritual journey, we are always talking about third dimension, fourth dimension, fifth dimension. So I was like, okay, he is talking in terms of dimensions, that if not physically, we are anywhere to meet non-physically. Anything can happen anywhere. It was a very, very profound spiritual statement. So again, I ended up taking that as a spiritual statement and not a literal statement. But he actually meant that quite literally.
But to be honest, like he was quite spiritually there as a human and in fact as a soul as well. You might have hoped for something bigger, grander, or higher manifestation in the physical.
Yes.
Like we all try to visualize like we will do something in oneness or togetherness with our twin flame. You might have also thought about all these things. When I look at some of these ascended masters or light beings, if I look at Sri Aurobindo and Mother Meera, they did a lot of work together as well.
Yes.
And even the modern contemporary ones, in fact, you had shared with me about Sri Prita and Sri Krishna. Like you want to do something like this together. So it must have been really heartbreaking when you received the news.
Absolutely. I was definitely contemplating that we are actually on the verge of getting into a complete harmony. And I think we were in February 2021. I was definitely feeling that, okay, there is nothing there now remaining. Apart from this particular fact that as normal people would perceive that, oh, you are in your own respective marriages, that means you are not in union, which I personally condemn it completely, because twin flame union is not about being under one roof in a sexual romantic union. So I feel that our mission was completely getting very clear, and I was already working on so many things, and he was aware of what I was doing. So somewhere I was having this feeling, and he also had overcome this particular factor, that he had to face in his life, that his wife controls him when it comes to talking to me, and he unwillingly gets manipulated because he has to make his marriage work. Somewhere that thing was there, but somehow he had overcome that factor. He was able to, that I think that was his last hurdle. I would say, like everything else he had overcome, that was his last hurdle to overcome, live what he wants to live without denying this connection with me, and say that yes, I do have a connection with this person, and I want to accept that there is no point in running from that. He had overcome that particular thing, so there was nothing there where we had any sort of a challenge in terms of being in harmony or accepting each other, or even realize why we are here for, and all those things. So somewhere I was having this thing in my mind, as my inner knowing or whatever, always I have had, that we are meant to be doing something together, we are meant to be together, we are meant to do something together. And so far, whatever I have contemplated in my journey, that whatever said and done, he will come back. He always came back, as I believe. So there is nothing there which was making me doubt it, that, okay, whatever I'm contemplating will come true some other day, today, tomorrow, or whenever the divine wants it. But we are definitely heading towards a destination where we will be together physically, we will be doing something together, and we are supposed to do that. I mean, that's our purpose. I was very clear with that, and somewhere when this news came, I was like completely feeling that, oh, divine has cheated me, like completely, because you show some carrot that, oh, things are going like really great. When I really started feeling this kind of a union, and we were really reaching at some place, in less than 60 days I have to hear this news, is like really a bad feeling to have.
Like when you got the news, where were you? What were you doing?
I
what
was
time of the
sleeping.
day?
I would say just the last, like the earlier night, I was having some submission of some project. I was helping my husband. Actually, it was my husband's project. I was helping him. I slept at 1:30 at night, and my husband closed his PC and he came to sleep. And I had put the lights off in my bedroom. So he just came with his mobile lights and he came and sat on the bed to sleep. And he said that I just felt that there is somebody over here. And I looked at him
Your
like,
husband.
yeah, my husband said that I just felt that there was somebody over here. And he's not that sort of a person who would comment something like this. He's not into spirituality.
I'm getting goosebumps.
Yeah, he's not into any sort of a stuff where he will comment anything which is related to spiritual or paranormal experience. So he said I just felt that somebody was here, like just here, like very near to me. So I just gave him a look and I said, mostly they say that whenever you really feel that, it's not just feeling, it's reality. That's what I told him. And we slept, like, that thought did not brush my mind afterwards. We slept because it was already too late.
He was somewhere protective and concerned about you. Like
Absolutely.
first he was preparing
Because
you.
I know if at all somebody would have asked him his last wish, it would have been meeting me. That I can tell you without any doubt. So obviously, when he was transiting, I think his soul definitely must have visited where I was while being in the fourth dimension. When the soul is just about to transition into the light, they can be anywhere according to their awareness, right? The location is not an issue. So he definitely visited that time. He was around in my house. I know that for sure.
Does it ever does it ever occur to you, if being human only, you were there in his last thoughts before he left the physical body? Like, if
yeah,
you
I have no doubt about
it.
I have no doubt about it. I know that. Yeah. I got up the next morning, and as usual, we all will take our phones and start browsing our messages. So I got up and I started browsing our messages, and we had very lot of common friends amongst each other. So in one of our groups where we had common friends, I saw this message. It's a very sad news that that demise of Prasad, who was a resident of so and so, because we used to stay in the same locality. So they had mentioned which building, due to cardiac arrest. That's what the message was. And I was like, I couldn't believe that, am I really reading his name? Because I was just getting up. So I literally got up. I again read that message. And it was very sure in my heart that no, it's about him. And I can't tell you, I was just blank. I was so numb. I was really blank. I could not react anything. And there was something in my heart which had this feeling that, I knew it was coming. So somewhere my soul already knew about it, because that thought came in my mind that, oh, finally this has come. Why did I feel, when I spoke to myself, I spoke in these wordings, finally it has come. Why would I say that? I just again went back to sleep in the sense I just lied down on my bed and I was not knowing what to do.
You were totally in a shock, numbed, and still maybe hoping what message you read is not correct.
Then I started sending personal messages to people because I received it on the group. So I started sending personal messages that what happened, because till that time I had no idea that he had this heart condition, and he was actually anticipating that something will happen like this. Then I told my husband, and he gave me my space. 2 days I did not talk to anybody at home. I was just in my room sitting, looking at the ceiling. I don't know what was happening in my mind, whatever. I don't even remember what happened in those 2 days. I was just completely blank and I was not knowing what to do. I'm sure, like you, I think you were the first one who had called me. You spoke to me on phone, and there were few people who spoke to me. And I must say that all our community of spiritual brothers and sisters, whoever we have met in this journey, they have been with me all throughout, like including you, even those people who don't know me personally, but have been reading my answers or whatever it is. So many people have sent me messages, and I was literally overwhelmed by receiving so many messages from all over the world, where they are also feeling the same pain I am feeling, and they are also equally crying like I am crying. And it was like really a heartwarming and heart-reaching experience for me to know that, oh my God, there are so many people with me. Suddenly, I mean, it was not that you don't know that, you know that, oh, there are so many people with you, because you are receiving certain messages, interaction on everyday basis. But when something like this happened, the kind of support and response I have got, and the kind of love I have got from everybody, has been like phenomenal. Like, I can't thank enough in my whole life to whatever I have received in that particular period.
I recall, like, when we had connected, then you had posted about Prasad on Quora. And that time also you were very cool, collected. Like, you were not all over the place and falling apart. And you were handling the loss maturely. And I was really impressed with the way you were conducting yourself. And I know that when we get love from others and we feel a sense of belonging, we like get that support. We hope we'll sail through. But and too, it is not easy. Like, you say you locked yourself for 2 days in your room. Were you totally numb, or you cried? You must have spoken to Divine about
I was
why did
actually
this happen.
I was feeling cheated, that Divine cheated me, because we were just there. We were just reaching our destination, or whatever you call. And suddenly this thing has happened, and this was definitely not anticipated. Like, I was definitely looking forward to so many things. So somewhere I felt that what is this? I came so long after taking so much of pain, and suddenly I have to face this. I remember the initial days of my journey, when we start asking ourselves, why me? Poor me. I'm such a victim. Divine is tasting me, or Divine is so cruel. Initial stage of your spiritual awakening, those feelings I experienced again after a long time. All this faith, love, does it really have any sort of a value? And so far I have been telling so much with so much of confidence, and that, oh, your twin flame will return. Like, every time I'm telling people with 500% confidence that your twin flame will come to you, you have to work on yourself, and why Divine has done something like this. But in due course of time, I started getting answers to those questions also. I'm just describing what I felt in that particular period of time. At the same time, I was also struggling between these two feelings. I was having this feeling of being cheated by the divine, and I have just been abandoned by all my spirit guides, angels, like, they don't care. That sort of a feeling.
Yeah.
And at the same time, I also had this feeling that whatever I'm holding here, the kind of space I'm holding for a lot of people, because I know that because I'm holding that space, there are so many people holding their space. I know that. So if I lose that space, or if I give up, or I say that, okay, I'm not here anymore, or if I give up that space, there is a lot which is going to collapse. That feeling I was having.
Yeah. There are so many in the twin flame community who look up to you as
Absolutely.
if it doesn't deter you, like as a role model or somebody whom we relate to, and like we relate to your journey. I'm sure many might be aspiring to evolve and ascend to the level you have.
And somewhere I was also realizing, because I have been the one who has been also writing that death is just a transition. Twin flame connection exists beyond life and death. I myself have written this, and I completely believe in what I have written. Otherwise, I wouldn't have written that. But when I was myself facing that particular situation, that okay, it's literally that sort of a place where my twin flame has transitioned into the spirit. So the human side of me is grieving for that loss and feeling victimized, cheated, everything. That ego mind is feeling all that. At the same time, my soul is understanding that my job is to hold this space, come what may. I'm not supposed to, leave this space. I felt the genuine need to inform everybody, because everybody is following me. Everybody knows about my journey, and this is like a something which is really absolutely important unfolding which has happened, and I have to inform everybody that this has happened. But I did have my own time of struggle, and all those days I was still answering the questions. Okay, I mean, I also find it very strange that in spite of being in that shock, I don't know, my soul, it does not really allow me to go away from it. That if I read something, it just gives me that urge to answer it from somewhere, I don't know where. And even in those days, I mean, I remember I have even answered a question on 15, 16, 17 April. On top of that, also many people wrote to me that it's good to see you still being here, even after all this, because many of them felt that, oh, maybe, I might vanish, or I would stop writing about twin flames or whatever. Even when I put a video on my YouTube channel, there were people who unsubscribed my channel, various people who unsubscribed my channel.
Really?
Feeling that, oh my God, my twin flame has passed away now. Anyways, like, what more I'm going to talk about my channel. So, yeah, I mean, imagine like the way people perceive the whole thing.
No, I'm sure they might have come around later on after Prasad left for his heavenly abode and you gathered yourself. When was it after his leaving the earth that you realized he's trying to reach out to you or connect with you?
Just the next day, like 14th night, he passed away. 15th, the whole day I was lying on my bed. And when I was lying down, I had this vision, okay, like dream kind of state, where I see some visuals and I just have this telepathic message. It's not like somebody told that to me, but from those visuals, I know. And I heard two words, and that were rejuvenation of a soul. That's what I heard.
Okay.
And somewhere I realized that he is into the light. He's already at a place where he needs to be. He's surrounded by the right souls. And when the soul leaves, the soul goes through a healing process, that whatever trauma and things the soul has picked from the physical life, that thing is, there is a rejuvenation process for the soul. And I heard those words, that rejuvenation of the soul. And I had this some sort of a vision where I knew that what it was. There was no verbal exchange of language. That it was some sort of a hall where there are things which are going to be discussed about what your mission was and how much you have accomplished. Some sort of a discussion on that what was your soul purpose and how far you have completed that. And he is there. I suddenly opened my eyes with that click, that okay, these 2-3 things have been told to me. And I instantly had this understanding that okay, my spirit guides are wanting to give me this information, because I think, I'm sure everybody in the spirit world must have been very concerned about me, at least my spirit team, that how am I going to take this shock. And I'm sure they must be preparing me energetically well before it happened. So I feel that they were very much concerned, and they wanted to give me this particular information, that he's fine. Because I had this vision, I suddenly had this peace in my mind, that he is fine, he is at a safe place. Many times, you have this doubt that whether that person has reached light or not, all these ifs and buts you have once the person passes. So that was completely a full stop in my case, because just the next day I had that vision that he is at a right place. I even feel even the whole 30-year journey of mine since I met him and I went through this whole journey. So this was part of the plan that he's supposed to leave after we complete a certain milestone and transit into a non-physical. Because even if you look at my journey, the kind of books I read on my journey, Laws of Spirit World, Many Lives, Many Masters, all these books talk about souls, afterlife. And okay, I think it's a part of everybody's spiritual awakening. Everybody goes through such materials. But somehow I feel that indirectly it has prepared me big time to face his death.
Yeah.
If I was not prepared, I had not gone through those materials and really understood what afterlife is all about, what souls are, how the soul contracts are done. I'm already so well versed in understanding that even though it was a great sense of loss, I knew somewhere that, okay, it's not a real loss. It's just that he's transiting from the physical into the spirit. So my human ego or mind, whatever, it took a lot of time to accept that this has happened. But on a deeper level, I was okay with it. I was able to accept that this is not the end of everything. He's still around, and his journey, this journey is still there. We are still on a journey, and now he is in the non-physical. So I think I was already being prepared for that.
And your experience confirms it, what's written in the books, and for others also, that this is true. What these writers and these healers and channelers write about is somewhere true. And this is a confirmation from the other.
Absolutely. As you're asking me how he started communicating with me and when, it was precisely since 22nd April. I remember, it may be from earlier also, but from the day I remember is the day 22nd April. So just 8 days after his passing. And maybe I started sensing that after 8 days, because initial days I was so much in pain, I was so much crying, and I was so much in grief that maybe I was not able to pick that frequency because I was myself in a great lower vibration. So maybe because of that, because as people say that normal souls take a lot of time to transit into a light, up to 72 hours it takes for normal soul to transit completely into the light. But I have also read in certain books that the more advanced the soul is, the soul already knows that it has died and it has to now go. So that transition is relatively very faster than the baby souls.
Okay.
So in Prasad's case, I feel it was very much instant. That transition was pretty faster. That's what I feel. On 22nd April, I started having some sort of a vibration or a tapping in my knee, as if, if you have a small vibrator button sort of a vibrator, and if you put under your knee bone, and if it is on, how you will feel on it, it vibrate from inside, right?
Yes.
Something sort of that sort of feeling I started getting on my right knee. Okay. Initially, I thought maybe my muscles are twitching or some other symptoms. I don't know what, or maybe I'm too stressed. So I'm having these vibrations in somewhere. But those vibrations were very persistent, and I have never experienced any sort of a vibration in my knees. I would have it in my shoulder, my eyes, anywhere in different part, but not in knees.
Not knees, yeah.
So I was wondering, what is this? And then some thoughts started coming in my mind that is it him who is trying to get my attention in some way, that why this knee is vibrating. Then the next day my right shoulder was vibrating like hell, like this whole part, the whole day it was vibrating. And that's when I started somehow coming to this thing that no, this is definitely not my twitching or anything of this sort. It is something different. Maybe it is him. I don't know. I took couple of months to actually come to this real inner knowing that yes, I don't have to doubt anymore. It is definitely. And as that time lockdown was on, we were not going out much. So one day we decided, okay, we will at least go in the garden. Just downstairs there is a nice garden. So I went there, and there was a nice tree. So I decided, okay, let me just relax. So I just was lying under that tree looking at the leaves because I was not moving out of my home. That was, I think, first time I went out. So
Yeah.
I was wondering that I always feel his presence. Now, is he here? Okay, so it was just the thought that, and I said, are you also here?
Yeah.
And immediately my shoulder started vibrating the same way it was.
Yeah.
So it was kind of a confirmation that, oh, okay, he's answering. He's answering to my thoughts. Then as it started progressing, I also started being able to determine whether he is just poking me or he's nodding his head or some sort of emotion is attached to him. So with that vibration, I will also have a feeling of the emotion. And because of his passing, I completely went into this curve of different sort of a learning altogether. Because pain, like person who is your essence, he is in your awareness 24/7, suddenly has gone from the physical. You just have this void inside you that, oh my god, now how do you connect with this person? Is he here or is he gone? That sort of thing.
Just like you are saying, you asked, you lay under the tree and asked, are you there? And your right hand started vibrating faster. So when we actually believe, these things manifest. The universe gives a sign, and he was trying to reach out to you. And when you asked, so he further confirmed it.
Another very amazing thing is that when I was in this period of validating that whether he is the one who is actually trying to connect with me, there have been a lot of people who are my followers who read my answers or watch my videos. Few of them have always sent me messages that he visited them in their dreams or in their meditation and he has got certain message for me. And it was also a big validation for me that whatever I am receiving from him is true, because even other people are receiving the similar messages. They are also able to connect with him and he is able to connect with them. That was a great aspect of how I actually ended up validating that it is him. And another great validation point is the dreams. There has been a time where he was constantly vibrating inside my knee when I am just half asleep and I'm just about to wake up in that theta alpha sort of a state. And I clearly read the words in my dreams that Prasad is here. So he was also trying to tell me, confirm me in my theta alpha, that half asleep sort of a state, that he is here. At the same time, I'm feeling the taps on my knees. So it's kind of a confirmation and it kind of validates that, okay, it's not just my imagination. He's actually the one who is doing it.
When you look at your connection and you state that you felt it in the knee first.
Yeah.
When I look at the two of you, so he always placed you above himself. So he knows, like, you are somewhere evolved and blooming like a lotus or whatever. So he didn't want to tap on your head or something. So he wanted, I'm trying to visualize, like maybe he wanted to keep himself somewhere on a place that he reaches through. He was your lower.
Maybe that's your interpretation. I had this interpretation. I mean, I really went into some sort of a research and tried to find out that what is the significance of a knee, because okay, I'm getting taps on other body parts like shoulder, even on head sometimes I would get on my third eye. But knee is the most prominent zone. I'm made aware of his presence. Why knee is the thing. So I started my own research on that. And in one of the information I received was, as we know our chakra system, there are, the main chakras are 7, but on our lower part of the body also there are chakras, right? So the knee chakra is considered as a spiritual bridge between the physical and the spiritual. That is what I read.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So maybe, I mean, I'm still not sure about it, but this is something which I got as a related information to this, that why his soul energy finds it easier to connect to me through my knees. I don't know. So,
Yeah, yeah. No.
in my desperation, I have contacted mediums, channels, people who do this mediumship and everything. And I also contacted another twin flame. She does a lot of work in India when it comes to paranormal investigation and stuff. She is dealing with souls, and her mission is helping the departed ones who are actually stuck somewhere to go to the light. So that is what she does. So she's very well versed with all these things. So she was the first person I contacted, and I asked, what should I do now? So she said, as you are the very new beginning person when it comes to the spirit contact, I would not like you to do any sort of a channeling or automatic writing or anything of that sort, because there is a possibility that somebody else can pretend to be that entity or whatever, because you are a new beginner. So I won't really recommend you to do that. Greatest communication channel is dreams. Through dreams you are able to connect, or through meditation. That's what she said. And somehow I trusted her, though I was really desperate to connect to him in some conscious way. I did not know how to do that, but then I trusted this thing, that I think this is my initial phase where I'm in trauma, and that is why I'm feeling this, and I have to calm myself down. And I knew somewhere, you always have this inner guidance that when the time comes, the things will unfold on their own. You don't have to really worry about things. So I just let it be. And whatever she told me, she said, as you are grieving right now, you won't be able to catch up much, but keep doing it, because whatever you are doing will also help you to come into a higher frequency. So do meditation. I have never been the person who was very, very diligent in meditating. Okay. I never denied the importance of meditation, but that urge of doing meditation, there are some people, right? They are very disciplined when it comes to meditating, and they have their certain routines and they follow. Though I have been on my spiritual journey, I was not somebody like that who was so diligent in meditations. Sometimes if I feel like, I would do, if not, I won't do it. But somehow his passing made that big shift inside me, that okay, if I want to connect with him and know more about what is happening with him, I have to meditate, because if I don't meditate, I'm not going to raise myself in the frequency where he is. So it's not going to be easy to connect. So I started meditating every day, and you won't believe the kind of shift it has brought in terms of my own inner peace, even in terms of my communication with my spirit guides. I mean, I have been unconsciously communicating with my guides all the time. It's always been the case.
So you feel like we enter into meditation, like I am also someone who cannot meditate, not the meditating kind. So unless and until we are guided to meditate, like in your case, you felt inclined to meditate, to connect with the higher realms and the higher energies. So do you think we should consciously try to bring in meditation into our lives if it is not coming naturally? Because once or twice I tried, but simply
I would say you should try. That's what I would say. That because the kind of things it will bring you are phenomenal. So if not naturally, if maybe you have to take some effort to get you into that discipline, you should. That's what I would. If you had asked me this earlier, my answer would have been different. But now if you are asking me, my answer is yeah, you should. And I felt after that, after I started regularly doing meditation, I felt that why the hell I did not do this earlier.
So how did the connection changed as a result of meditation? Earlier you were getting vibrations and you were reading those emotions, right? You were able to interpret those emotions.
I definitely started sensing some sort of messages, or I started sensing him, the feeling that he's around. There was no direct communication happening in the meditation, but I was having that feeling that I was sensing the presence of him. And especially when I sit for the meditation, when you go into alpha or theta state, when you are in meditation, you are already getting into a different vibration. So I think for anybody, for any higher being in the different higher realm, to communicate with us, it's easier. That if we are in theta state, it's way more easier for a higher realm to communicate with us. And that's when you would get all these dreams. Even dreams come in theta state. Everything is happening in the theta state. So meditation is a great thing, because if you are meditating, you are not sleeping, right? You are aware. And that's the best part, that you are aware. So with your awareness, you are perceiving what communication you are receiving. I started sensing those things, that okay, he is here. And even I would get his taps and the vibrations when I'm meditating. So I was always made aware that, oh, he's around. There is a evidence, because I am getting it's not just backed by my feeling, it's also backed by his taps, on my knee, on my shoulder, somewhere I'm getting the taps when I'm meditating. So I know that, okay, he is here. And somewhere that whole tapping system he has created around me has given me such a great support, in last one whole year. If I look back, now it has become like a norm. I know that he's around, and even if he doesn't tap me, I know that he's there. He doesn't need to prove me anymore that he's around. I'm sensing him. I know that he's here. Then I decided that, okay, let me learn how to connect to the other side, because it's important to learn it with proper steps instead of just being a naive person dabbling with something. So I actually enrolled myself to a course where they would teach me how to connect to a spirit in a safe way. So you are protected and you can connect. So I learned that, and then she said that, okay, it's all about practice. You practice every day. And I started practicing that. And another thing I started was channeling, because I have understood this, that I'm already channeling without even me knowing. Whatever I write on Quora, I believe half of it is channeled, like without even my knowledge. So many things I visit back and I don't remember when I wrote those answers.
How did I write that?
I thought, anyways, without my knowledge, I'm doing channeling. Let me also learn how to consciously do it. It's just an extension of what I'm already doing. So I started consciously doing channeling. So there is a certain way that you invoke a prayer and you get into that state of meditation. You keep your pen and paper in front of you, and there is a certain process, and you call upon whoever you want to channel. So it could be, or you tell your guides that whoever wants to come in, you can come in. There is no, like, you are not making any choice as such. Anybody can come in. So I started practicing like that sort of a channeling thing. And I have received such beautiful messages through those channelings, and especially from Prasad, how he has been and how I need to look at myself and how I should not be in pain, and how things are unfolding the way they are supposed to, all these things. So somewhere I feel that the whole last year I have gone through such a great learning curve in a different way. I am on a spiritual journey, so I do have an understanding of other dimensions, and I do want to learn about them. I want to perceive them the way I can. But when your twin flame is in the physical, you are always going to be anchored in the physical, right? Because they are your anchor. So I was always anchored in the physical, but the moment he transited into a non-physical, suddenly my anchor shifted into the non-physical. So I literally was out of the matrix. Whatever, I mean, with my ascension process, anyways, I had processed most of my matrix traits anyways. I had closed my company. I had completely closed my work because I had lost interest. I was more and more getting too much aligned to my spiritual path or soul purpose, whatever you want to call. And since he passed, whatever was remaining in me, which was related to matrix, completely was taken away, and it was completely anchored into the non-physical. So my whole interest shifted literally, like, 180 degrees. Whatever was there on earth, it shifted up, like 180 degrees.
He wanted to take you higher above.
Absolutely.
That's why
It was actually like that we both were horizontally focused. We were draining our energies into our respective karmic commitments. And it was just like that. Things could have unfolded in different ways also, but that was the scenario when you are completely in harmony, you are actually ready to take bigger things. And I think because of that exact reason, that was the point of his exit, that whatever he was supposed to do while being in the physical body in this particular journey, he had already finished it. So there was nothing more to do for us in the physical, which is remaining. So the moment it was over, that there was no need for his soul to be here in the physical. So it was obviously,
he had prepared you.
Exactly. So the moment I was truly ready, and we are completely aware, in harmony, in understanding of each other, that is the point, the exact point he left. That anchor shifted above, and now I feel that so many times, on twin flame journey, we say that we are spiritual part and we are spiritual twins and they are the matrix ones. This was new realization after he left, that it was my ego which felt that, oh, I am the one who is a spiritual twin who is working on myself, and he's the matrix one, he's not aware of whatever it is. But if you really look at it, I feel he was leading me all the time. He was the one who was leading me all the time and making me do my work. And after that, he was that sort of a soul that he didn't want to waste his time anymore in the matrix. There is no need. So he left, and now he's leading me from the non-physical. So he's still leading me. So that task is still there with him. And in one of his channeled messages, he told me, all the time in his spirit world, the only job he's doing is to be with me. That is the only thing he's supposed to do. Oh, like, if I'm always with you, why are you so sad? I'm here, like my whole entire purpose is to be here with you. Like, what else, what more I can give you, like that.
Earlier he was divided, like he was focused on his earthly life and he was in touch with you, and now he is solely devoted to you, your growth, and totally connected to you, and he's taking you further higher up. Do you see a difference in your energies when Prasad was in the physical with now he is in spirit? So, and he's no more there in his physical body. So do you feel more elevated and more harmonized?
I feel more empowered. I don't know how to put it forward, but I definitely feel very strong from inside, that okay, he is, and I do feel him every now and then. I literally feel that he's around and he's listening to what I'm doing, and it truly feels like a team, that okay, he's there, he's always going to be here. That somehow gives me that strength and that empowerment, which was there before it was not. But initially it is diverted, right? Because you also do have physical challenges to deal with, the physical drama which happens. So that we don't have to deal anymore now. Initially what happened, that I had to hide his identity, because when the person is living and when you are not in the situation to actually be together in, like, the society part, the society template, what we call. I mean, these were the things which were actually the last part which was remaining in our journey, which, if at all he was here, that was the thing which I would say was remaining to get sorted. I feel now at least I have this knowing. I mean, even I got this thing from my spirit guides, that I can, without any fear, I can take his name, I can talk about him. There is nothing which I need to fear about. Initially, I used to also have this fear that there are so many people who know us in common, like we have a lot of common friends. So none of them had any idea about what our connection is, or are we really in touch with each other, or if yes, then what sort of connection we share. Nobody has any clue about what that connection is or what exactly it is. But I overcame that fear that, okay, it doesn't matter to me. If somebody comes to know, let them know. It's not bothering me in my heart.
So have you observed a change in the way people look at you or treat you, those who got to know about your spiritual connect with Prasad? There might be few in your friend circle or in the common group.
There is nobody like that in our connections who knows our connection. Or if they have known, they have not confronted it to me so far.
Because you have been making many videos and all, so I'm sure somewhere there might be some awareness.
Maybe some of them are aware that I'm making videos, but they are not aware about whom I'm talking. So
okay. And what about your family, your mom?
My mom is not at all aware of this, and it's not that I'm afraid to tell her that. I can very well share things with her, but so far that thing did not unfold like that I would feel the need to tell it to her. So I have kept it that way, that okay, whenever the time comes I will tell, otherwise there is no need. My husband knows, his wife knows, so yeah, our spouses know, but otherwise apart from that, nobody. And I think maybe in this video I am putting his picture along with me, so maybe some more people may know now.
So did your husband lend you any emotional support when Prasad left this earth? He might not have related to the extent of your loss, but he was there for you.
Absolutely. Like the day when I read this news, I was not able to tell it to my husband. Like, I didn't know how to go and tell him that, Prasad is no more. I just forwarded him the message I had received in that group. Just forwarded him to his WhatsApp, and he read that, and then he came to see me where I was, and I was lying there on the bed. So he didn't disturb me. He understood. He didn't disturb me. Poor fellow. He also cooked, like 2 days he cooked. He didn't even call me in the kitchen. He was managing things on his own.
Okay.
And in the night, I used to really get, I don't know from where. I mean, I'm not that at all that sort of a person who is afraid of things or afraid of being alone at night or anything of that sort. But after he passed away, I really wanted to have somebody, because I was not able to sleep alone. I always wanted to hold my husband and sleep like a child, a small child, the way a child would sleep with their mother. Exactly the same way I used to hold my husband and sleep. I don't know, like I used to feel the need to hold somebody like that. He also cried with me when I told him this. So he has been very, very supportive in terms of me dealing with this loss. I would say he has no clue how far it has impacted me. It's 1 year, but it doesn't feel like that. Like I just literally remember every day in last year, that how I have spent that day. So how I have been grieving, how I have been coping, I have not told him too many details about it, because I think he will be concerned about my health and my well-being. So only not to make him over concerned about it, because I know I am able to handle it. I don't need any support as such. So unnecessarily, why I have to bother him? So that's why I have not really told him anything.
If I broach a slightly sensitive subject, if you would be open to share with us, how is your equation or relation or connect with Prasad's wife? Is she aware of your connection? And how is it like after Prasad left?
After he left, when I approached her to send condolence messages and everything, she sent me a message that please forgive me, or because I have been unfair with you both, whatever.
She asked for forgiveness.
Yes.
Like, forgive me. Okay.
I had my own phase where I was really upset with her. Though I do understand her side, I had that some sort of a resentment against her, but I knew that, okay, it's not going to serve me. So I really had to work on myself to let go whatever resentment I had against her. I did decide that let some time go. I will at least express whatever is there in my heart to her. So just recently I told her everything, how this connection was, how beautiful it was, how spiritual it was, and how important it was for both of us. And it is not necessarily to be taken in such a way that it was a divine connection. I mean, if we cannot look at it in that manner, it's a sad thing. I am not taking your place. I will not feel insecure if I am there in his life. That's what I told her, and it made me feel good because I expressed whatever I wanted to express to her. And I think she also does understand that. I would say, yeah, overall we are on the same page.
Good to know. That's like somewhere you are also unburdening yourself. You're opening up more, and you did share with her also. It's a relief for Prasad as well.
Yes, absolutely.
That the two of you connected.
Absolutely. Yeah. I told her that I think if I tell you everything from my side, what I really truly feel like sharing, I think even he will feel good, because it definitely was a burden on his heart, that whatever he could not really express you fully when he was here, maybe it's now my job to do that on his behalf. So I did that. Yeah.
To understand or relate to this connection is not easy for someone who hasn't experienced it. So she might have taken it, as you said, and it might take some time to process and understand it.
Yeah, I do feel that maybe it might take a little bit of a time for her to process it, but slowly but surely I have that feeling that yeah, she will be able to process what I have told her.
You have grown and evolved remarkably. I know Prasad is leading you from that realm, and as you shared, even in your grief and suffering, you were writing answers on Quora when Prasad initially transitioned, because your soul knows where it wants to go, and it will not rest contently, or it will not find its peace. Although you are in peace, you are in harmony, but still there is something that keeps on tugging at it or pulling it and taking you to a different place. If Prasad had been here in the physical, he would not have been doing all this workshop connecting to higher.
Not at all.
Yeah. So if I ask you, you have a daughter. So is she aware about your connection?
She's 14 years old, and I started my awakening journey when she was 4. So I have gone through this particular phase of feeling a lot of guilt as a mother, because you can imagine the needs of a 4-year-old toddler who is growing up and the kind of attention that toddler requires from the mother. Somewhere I was very much struggling to be a mother as well as a somebody on the path. And I have had my worst periods where I was not even able to get up from one place, and I was knowing that okay, I'm not paying enough attention to my daughter, which I should. So that whole guilt feeling inside me was too much. But as I progressed in the journey, I also started having this inner knowing that everybody and anybody who is around me right now in my journey as a soul, they have chosen to be with me in this particular period of time. So my daughter's soul is aware of my journey, and she knows what I am going through, and she is here, she is with me, she has chosen to be with me. So yeah, as a mother, I would definitely try and do justice with her, but I don't have to feel guilty about things. It's okay. So that's how, because her soul is prepared to go through what is happening with her. So you don't have to feel guilty what I got. And I always decided that I want to share my experiences with her in whichever way I can, according to her age. I don't want to hide anything, because
Yeah.
as conditioned people, we always have this guilt feeling that, oh, I'm on some spiritual journey, I'm thinking of somebody else, which I have also gone through in a period of time. So this is not fitting into a template of my ideal family, right? So this is separate. This
Yeah.
is, you tend to keep both the things separate, and you
Yeah.
end up struggling a lot mentally. You are not
Yes.
able to understand what. If you start merging both the aspects together slowly, you can't merge them immediately, but slowly, if you have that intention, I think it runs very smoothly. That is what I
Yeah.
understood, because I decided that, okay, I don't want to hide things from my daughter.
Yeah.
So as she has grown up from age 4 to age 14 in last 10 years, she has witnessed how I have been writing on Quora. She has witnessed how I have been doing my videos, how I have been doing my one-to-one sessions. It discusses with me a lot of spiritual concepts because she knows that I am a very spiritual person. So she would come and she would ask me about souls and stuff. And I see that, okay, she is also in her own awakening process, because she is with me, she is also picking up things, right, from her surroundings, and she is so much sorted at this age. That's what I would say. I mean,
Yeah.
at times she would even come and say and try and dissect the situation that, mom, this person seems to be a baby soul, right? He's not an old soul. See how he's behaving. So
That's incredible. Yeah.
she's able to view things in different ways. She does know about what is twin flame and stuff like that. She knows about Prasad, and she even
Yeah.
asks me, are you still missing him? Like, are you thinking about him? As the connection of a mother and daughter is very special. Like, and especially now she's becoming a teenager, she feels to me more of a friend than my daughter. So I would discuss things with her and she would listen, and she does understand that like 14 is not like at 14 you do start, and like when I met Prasad when I was 14, so I can recall what sort of understanding I had at that age. I would also like to tell everybody, if at all you're feeling guilty about your kids not being justice with them or whatever it is, you just need to make them a part of your journey in some way. Maybe tell them stories, tell them about souls, something. It's not that you have to reveal every card which you have, not necessary, but something, something to share with them, because they are also awakening, and I'm sure this next generation is way more advanced and very, very well sorted than us. So
As we all are in this spiritual journey, we become that. We become walking, talking spirituality somewhere.
yeah.
In our everyday normal conversation, it comes out. Even if we try, talk more of earthly things, if we are in a gathering, like although now we do not enjoy such things, but being earthly, we go. It naturally has become a part of us that it will come out.
Yes.
No matter how much we try to refrain these words and this spiritual element. That's us. It's good to see children and this generation being in touch with something that is beyond the physical. You are someone who was already on a spiritual path. You were aware about the existence of spirit, the higher dimensions. What will you like to say to those who have lost their loved ones? How should they open up, and how do they connect with their loved ones and bring up this belief in them that their loved ones are still around?
Yeah, this is a very relevant question you have asked, because this experience I went through, and I went through this learning curve of learning about how to connect and stuff like that, and I already knew that death is not the end. There is definitely life after death and things like that, and I am getting evidences of that on everyday basis, that I am sensing Prasad. I mean, I feel this need that there is a time for many of us who are awakening spiritually on a twin flame path, or whichever path it is. Somehow I feel it is all interlinked. Many people I have known are awakening because of the extreme trauma of their own near-death experience or somebody's death in their family. That has been the reason of their awakening. For us, our twin flame has been the reason of our awakening. Ultimately, we are all awakening. And right now, because of the COVID or whatever turbulent scenarios we are facing outside, we are seeing so many deaths. There are so many families grieving. And somewhere I feel that this is the time for people like us. I mean, we did not awaken randomly, right? In this time, there was definitely some purpose. Why so many of us are awakened and aware that, or accept that we are souls first and then the human body. And we are here for a purpose, and there is something bigger than being a human. We are aware of this particular thing, and I feel that it's our job or our duty or whatever you want to call it to make other people aware of it. Because ultimately, if you really talk about the ascension of the earth and rising of the planet, ultimately we are here to awaken everybody around us. So I feel everybody who is grieving the loss of a loved one is standing on the verge of awakening, because that is when they start asking all these questions. What is life really? What is death? Is afterlife really existing? Are we really souls? Can we really connect to that person? All these questions are coming to somebody's mind because somebody has died in their family. And I think this is a great opportunity for spiritually awakened people to engage with these people, make them understand that you are not alone. You are a soul first, then in the human body, and whoever you are grieving can hear you, can listen to you, is around you, is aware of your thoughts. So, and that understanding can bring a great shift in that person's life. And I feel this is something I have also taken, like after, like it was not my effort. Naturally, after he passed away, there have been so many people who contact me to ask me these questions, that my wife passed away, I'm grieving so much, can you help me? Or I'm facing this loss of my kid. I have been talking to these people, making sure that they are okay. And maybe I would lead them to certain material, that, okay, you read this material, you will feel better, or something of that sort. But gradually it actually came to a place where I actually happened to design a kind of a workshop for people, where it's kind of a 2-day workshop, have some sort of a Q&A. You ask all the questions you're having. And the second day, we will also facilitate some sort of a meditation, and you can actually connect with the person you are missing. This particular workshop has started this April only. So I
that's
feel
wonderful.
This unfolding is definitely not random. That is what I feel.
For a commoner, they keep on standing on the periphery. Even if they would be receiving some signs, with their logical mind, they will be dismissive of them. They will not be able to interpret them, not relate to them, that their loved ones are trying to communicate to them. And maybe like a workshop and experiences of people like you, and even reading books, somewhere build that connect that they are missing, and may help them channel their grief and their pain, and give them a different perspective to look at their loss. So I'm sure there will be many who would be interested in the workshop, and this will help them. So do you have a set plan in your mind, or some vision where you want to go, or you just want to go wherever your soul is leading to?
I'm right now just going wherever my soul is leading me. You can look at this thing in a sad way or a happy way, whatever it is. But just because he left the physical, as a human being, whatever you have, as a fear of losing something, I have lost that, because I feel now I have nothing to lose now. Like whatever I had to lose, I mean, it's of course not lost, but in the physical, at least it's not there anymore, so which will
but earlier also very fearless. You were quite bold and fearless earlier.
Whatever, as a human being, you do have your own certain fears.
Yeah.
So that particular thing, it completely went out of the window. Even when it comes to aspiration, there were certain aspirations, earthly aspirations in my mind, because he was here, that I wanted to be with him in a certain way, or we wanted to do things together in a certain way. Now, even though it is on a spiritual path, it is an earthly inspiration that you have to want to execute those things on earth, in the physical reality. But now that is also not there anymore, because I mean, okay, I would do many things in the physical, but now he is not going to be the physically the part of it. Somehow, it gives me a feeling of free spirit, that okay, I am not anchored anywhere. I can do whatever I want.
Yeah.
There is nothing there which will pull me back or call me back or anything of that sort.
Keep on floating.
That's a good part of it. Okay. And I do have this feeling, and even I have got that sort of a channeling when I do the channeling practice, that there is a lot which is going to come, in next 10 to 15 years. There is a lot to do. There is a lot to happen. There are many exciting things. And I also got this message, not from Prasad, from my spirit guide, that the best day of your journey is yet to come. That is what. So I said, oh my God, now after losing him from the physical to the, what best part is remaining? I have no clue. But I have received this message that the best day of your journey is yet to come. From him, I have got these messages, that words come like reaching new heights, something very great is going to unfold. What, they don't tell me. If I even ask them in the channeling what exactly, it would always come as like, you will know when the time comes, or basically I'm not supposed to know about it now. So but I have this knowing. They also tell me, they hint me about it, that okay, there is something which is going to come, but I have to just take the day as it comes. So I trust that okay, fine. Anyways, as being on the spiritual journey, whatever fear of death I had in my journey, of course, through this journey, slowly you also overcome that fear of death anyway. And now after his passing away, I admire his courage so much, that he knew that it's very, very, very brave to know that you are not having a lot of time here and deal with that situation very strongly. And the way he has dealt with it, I have seen that. So I feel that okay, if he has done it, even I can do it, right? So that whole, whatever that fear of death remaining part I had, that also have lost. So I'm actually in a very ideal situation right now, that if I die tomorrow, it's okay. I have no regrets. There is nothing which I really wanted to do in this life which I could not do, or anything of that sort. There is nothing. Okay, I will very happily, peacefully, I can die if suppose the death comes. If it doesn't come, I know, okay, the soul is driving me. Why I have to bother about anything? So I think that's the ideal place to be, that, you are not worrying about anything. You are not having any earthly aspiration. You would just go where your soul takes, and you feel happiness when you help others. And I think that's where I am right now, that okay, this is where I am, and this is what I enjoy doing. And that's it. I mean, what more you want? Yeah.
And that is one of the reason you handled your loss very maturely, because you were giving to others, and in giving you were receiving in return. As you were healing others, you were getting healed. So it was a both way, because everything is interconnected. It was a two-way process or multidimensional process. And as you state, you do not have any regrets, even if you go today. And I'm sure many in the spiritual community can say that, because they have realized that we are souls, and this is whatever we aspire for is not relevant.
Looking back in the past whole 1 year, I can actually say that if there is true love, it can transcend everything. I mean, love can transcend life and death also. I have myself firsthand experienced that, because I had never ever imagined the kind of experiences I have had in last 1 year, and I'm going to continue to have more experiences and more understanding about this connection when I am here in the physical and he is already transited into the spirit. And now it's our time to learn about this connection this way, because whatever we had to explore physically by both being in the physical is already done. So now this is kind of a next milestone or next chunk of our journey. Literally, this feeling in my heart that he is around, he is communicating with me, and literally, if you are open, if you are awake, and if your soul is able to let go and accept certain realities, you can literally connect your heart with your loved one, and it can transcend life and death. And I think this is an amazing, amazing realization I have had with this sort of an experience. And because of that, suddenly my understanding, my confidence, my strength has multiplied. That's what I would say.
Thank you, Pradnya, for the lovely conversation today. I thoroughly enjoyed it and it widened my horizon. And I'm sure it has given many people a different perspective to look at life and loss and grief. And keep on doing the wonderful work you are doing for the upliftment of humanity. We are happy that you are there for us. And we are
Thank
pleased
you,
about
Alka. And on this